Hey, Big Sonic, what can I just do whatever I want to other people and creatures and stuff like that? Am I allowed to just abuse anyone I like if I feel like it, Big Sonic? I feel like hitting someone I met yesterday because he wasn't nice to me. I just feel like punching his head and stuff, and I'm very angry with him and stuff. I just feel like abusing him and stuff, and I feel very frustrated right now. Am I allowed to just hit people if I don't like them, or do whatever I want to other people and etc., Big Sonic? Now, Small Sonic, well, that's a very philosophical question. Are you allowed to abuse other people, Small Sonic? That's a very philosophical question. Ultimately, it depends on your own personal convictions and beliefs. I mean, if you don't really care about other people and you want to mistreat other people because you're selfish and you don't care about them, well, I don't know. I can't really say that's necessarily bad or wrong. I mean, that's a very, 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 very philosophical question, Small Sonic. That can you abuse other people? I don't know. That's a very philosophical question, but I cannot provide you a satisfactory answer, Small Sonic, because it's all so philosophical and there's no clear answer and stuff. I don't know, Small Sonic. Big Sonic, I'm very fed up with so many other people. I just want to get a hammer and just break their heads and maybe crush their skulls and stuff. I just want to abuse them and do whatever I want to them and stuff. I just feel like doing that. Am I allowed to do that, Big Sonic? Now, Small Sonic, you're becoming very psychopathic. Really? You're going to get a hammer and beat other people's heads in, Small Sonic? That's not you. You're becoming a psychopath. What's going on, Small Sonic? What's going on? What's with you, man? I just feel so fed up and angry with the world. I just hate other people. I want to abuse them. Why can't I just harm other people? Why can't I just do that? Why aren't I allowed to harm other people, Big Sonic? Well, Small Sonic, again, that's a very philosophical question. Why aren't you allowed to harm other people, Small Sonic? Well, that, again, it's a very philosophical question, and I guess it just depends on your personal convictions. I mean, if you want to harm other people, you can do that. I mean, you know, it's not like there's going to be like angels and demons holding you back from doing that. Like, the legal authorities, they're the only reason that you might not be able to do that. I don't know. I mean, why shouldn't you harm other people? It's a very philosophical question, Small Sonic. But I mean, ultimately, it's the consequences that you have to worry about. If you were to go around beating other people's heads in and stuff, that could lead to you getting arrested or something like that. Or these other people, they can gang up and beat you up and kill you instead of you abusing them. They can abuse you. The consequences, Small Sonic. That's why you're not just allowed to go around and abuse other people. You have to the consequences and stuff. But what if I don't care about the consequences? What if I just smash someone else's head in and then I quickly make it run away? And because I'm super fast, I'm Small Sonic. So what if I just bash other people's heads in and just quickly run away? I won't have to suffer from the consequences. Well, in this case, then I believe that it's just, I don't know, why shouldn't you harm other people? I guess it's just your personal convictions. I mean, that's a very philosophical question. Ultimately, there is no right and wrong in our world. It's just, we just determine our own rules, I guess. I don't know. It's up to you, Small Sonic. If you feel like you want to abuse other people, I mean, it's up to you ultimately. You're gonna have to worry about the consequences though, and the legal authorities, they're gonna chase after you, Small Sonic. But Big Sonic, is there such a thing as right and wrong? Why am I really, if I abuse other people, will I really be doing something that's wrong? Small Sonic, that's a very philosophical question. Right and wrong? I mean, we can't measure what's right and what's wrong in a very objective way. I mean, like right and wrong, that's just kind of like all in our heads. So I don't know. Why shouldn't you abuse other people? I don't know. It's just all personal convictions and your own beliefs that determine everything, I guess, in this way, in this regard and stuff. In this way, I don't know. I don't know, Small Sonic. Big Sonic, I just want to go around and abuse people. I want to kill them as well. I just want to do very violent things to other people. Am I allowed to do this, Big Sonic? Small Sonic, that's that's a very horrible sign in you, Small Sonic. You might be suffering from a mental breakdown. We might need to get you to the doctors or something, Small Sonic. But I mean, ultimately, again, it's a very philosophical question. Why shouldn't you harm other people? It's all philosophical. Really, again, right and wrong, we can't measure these things in an objective way, so it's all up to you to decide. I don't know. You're just gonna, I guess it's because of the consequences. That's why you're not allowed to harm other people, because they will harm you back and stuff. You have to worry about the consequences. I'm super fast. I can run away from these people after I abuse and hurt them. What do you think about that? Oh, it's kind of psychopathic, small Sonic. Ultimately, if you want to abuse other people, I mean, I can't really do anything about that. I mean, you're just gonna have to worry about the consequences, though. I guess I don't know. And like other people are gonna start to hate you. Okay, Big Sonic. Thank you for your contributions to this discussion, and thank you for your philosophical insights, and thank you for kind of snapping me out of this type of stupidity and psychopathic rage. Okay, I'm Big Sonic. Okay, Small Sonic. I'll give you a pat on the head for cooperating. Animal abuse. The topic of this video is going to be about animal abuse. Alright, animal abuse. Alright, so this video is going to be about animal abuse and stuff like that. And okay, so alright, animal abuse. What am I getting at? Animal abuse. Why is that important? Why am I discussing animal abuse? It's because this topic is so important, because it really kind of shows like a lot about the human being and our morality and ethics and stuff, and stuff like that. And like it opens like a window into the human psyche. And because the topic of this video is animal abuse, right? It shows like the human psyche. It kind of opens a window into like who we are, what we are, like why we feel the way we do about like morality and ethics and stuff like this. It's going to be a very important topic to discuss: animal abuse. And of course, like when I say animal abuse, the majority of people watching this video, they're gonna be like, well, yeah, that's horrible. I don't support animal abuse. Whatever, I don't support that. I don't know. I hate animal abuse. I hate animals getting beaten up for no reason and blah blah blah. Because when I say animal abuse, a lot of people, first of all, they're gonna wonder, what am I getting at? Why are you mentioning that? And also, I don't agree with animal abuse. I don't know. Again, what are you getting at? A lot of people, if you ask them about animal abuse, they would not really hesitate to tell you that it's horrible and wrong and not good. Animal abuse, animal abuse, that we should not abuse other animals, other non-human animals and stuff. It's very interesting and stuff. Obviously, there's so many different people out there and stuff, and they all have their own opinions. And whoever's watching this video, you probably have your own opinion on animal abuse and whatever. It's a very important topic, and the topic of animal abuse, because again, it opens a window into the human psyche, and it also opens the window into our moral understandings and stuff like that. It's kind of stupid. What do we mean by moral understandings? Why the human being developed concepts like morality and ethics and stuff like that. It's kind of animal abuse is a very important topic for this. Right, but animal abuse, if you go around the world, like most people will tell you that, oh no, animal abuse is horrible. They won't agree with it and stuff. They'll tell you that animal abuse is wrong. People that abuse animals, they should be like hurt and themselves and maybe even killed. I don't know. So, of course, a lot of people would not agree with animal abuse, that we should, that other non-human animals should just be mistreated for whatever reason without any type of hesitation or consequences. Most people would not agree with this. But the thing is that most people contribute to animal abuse, animal abuse. Most people indirectly contribute to animals getting abused and enslaved and tortured and then inevitably killed and turned into like meat products and food. Because most people consume animal products. Most people indirectly support animal abuse by consuming animal products, right? Because you go to the shop, you buy like milk and eggs and meat and stuff like this. It doesn't register on your head that, when I do this, I'm funding like an industry that like enslaves animals, cages animals in and blah blah blah, and inevitably beats and kills these animals and turns them into like the food products that I consume in these little market areas and stuff that I buy from these market areas, and I consume the animal products, blah blah blah. A lot of people, they don't really understand this, right? They don't see, like, they don't make the connection between like their dietary choices and like and the consequences and stuff. Because a lot of people consume animal products, they don't really understand or realize that they're funding like the animal agriculture industry, which is quite atrocious. And they're funding an industry which abuses animals and cages them in and beats them up and then inevitably kills them and mutilates them into little nice meat parts, which get sold in supermarkets, blah blah blah. animal abuse is such an important topic because again, it opens a window into the human psyche. Like animal abuse, again, most people would not agree with animal abuse, but most people consume animal products and support the animal agriculture industry. And I'm not a vegan. This is just a very interesting topic to discuss. Animal abuse, like should other non-human animals be given like the same moral treatment as us human beings? Should we like not? Because like a lot of people would agree with this, but a lot of people would say that we also need to like farm animals and enslave them for our food, so we can turn them into food and stuff, so we can keep them as like a food source for us. Animal agriculture and stuff like that is like very disgusting, but it's an industry that we all like kind of indirectly support through our dietary choices, because most people consume animal products. I consume animal products. I'm not gonna like get on some type of high horse and like insult you about this, or insult you, or kind of complain about you doing that. Well, I do, because I do it as well and stuff. I consume animal products because I believe that it's somewhat necessary to consume like animal products to have like to be in like tip-top shape and to have good health. I tried the vegan diet a while back. It didn't work out, so I did try the vegan diet in so many different ways. It still didn't work out. I couldn't make the vegan diet work. Anyway, that's a side tangent though. Back to the topic at hand, which is animal abuse. Is animal abuse bad? Is it wrong? Is it wrong that we enslave other animals and we use them as a food source, like the farm animals specifically I'm talking about? Because a lot of people will be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? We enslave other animals and we use them as a food source. What are you talking about? I don't do that. Yeah, I mean, look at your dietary choices, man. What food do you eat? You eat animal products. Where do you think these animal products come from? Do you think we grow milk on a tree? Do you think we grow milk from trees and stuff, and eggs pop out of the ground, and meat just kind of it washes up on the ocean floor or something? I don't know. We just collect it from like seaweed. I mean, I'm being stupid now. Meat, animal products. These things don't just grow from dirt. They come from like tortured animals that get enslaved and abused, and then their corpses get turned into like the food that we eat, which is kind of very horrific. I don't know. It's very horrific if you think about it like that. Animal abuse, is it wrong? Because a lot of people say, what are you getting at? Of course it's wrong, but their dietary choices contribute to animal suffering and the animal agriculture industry, which is kind of horrific. So animal abuse, again, is such an important topic to discuss because it opens a window into the human psyche, right? Because it's very important to discuss, because animals, they cannot resist us in any way. They're at our mercy. Stuff that's very insane that they're at our mercy. They cannot resist us. We can do whatever we want to the animals and stuff. So animal abuse is such an important topic because it shows a lot about the human psyche. It kind of shows like what our morality is and stuff like that. Because animals, like a lot of people would not agree with animal abuse, but a lot of people would agree with animal agriculture, that we should use some farm animals as a food source, and we should farm them and harvest their organs and meat and stuff and milk and their other excretions for our food and stuff, and that's okay because we need it to sustain ourselves and stuff. People, they do not agree with animal abuse, but they agree. Most people would agree with animal agriculture, which is kind of weird. It's okay to abuse animals if it's for like some type of personal benefit for us. A lot of people would say no, it's never okay to abuse animals, even if there's some type of personal benefit. But people, a lot of people consume animal products. They eat meat and drink milk and eat eggs and stuff like this. And so if you ask them, is animal abuse wrong? They'll say no. I mean, of course, animal abuse is not. It's not okay. Animal abuse is wrong. No, maybe they would say yes or no. Maybe animal abuse is animal abuse okay? Is animal abuse all right? A lot of people might they might mumble like I am like right now. I'm kind of being stupid with my words. But animal abuse is so important to discuss because it opens a window into the human psyche, the human mind. It shows like our morality and stuff like that. How why we see things the way we do. And stuff. Is animal abuse wrong? A lot of people would be like yes or no, maybe so. I don't know. But most people would they would think that they would agree to like animal abuse being wrong, but they would still consume animal. They would say, but we need to consume like animal products to stay alive and stuff and stay healthy. So animal abuse is not wrong. It's if it's for our own personal benefit, because we abuse animals and we farm them in the animal agriculture industry and stuff like that. You can do some research about that. We farm animals and stuff and we use them as a food source. But you know, a lot of people would not agree with animal abuse, but people, they still consume animal products and use that, and they indirectly fund the animal agriculture industry, which harvests animals and abuses animals for our personal gain and to make our food products, animal products that we consume and eat at the supermarkets. Animal abuse is such an important topic to think about. Is it okay to abuse other animals? People would say no. It's not okay to abuse other animals, but you know, people they still eat meat, and they indirectly fund the animal agriculture industry. So then if you tell them about this, they'll say, well, we need to eat meat and blah 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 and drink milk and other animal products to stay healthy and in tip-top condition. So it's okay to abuse animals if it's like for some type of personal benefit and gain. Of course, some people might say that, well, animal abuse is like, yeah, it's okay to abuse animals. Like, there's no such thing as morality. We determine the rules, so, and animals aren't really that important, so it's okay to abuse them. You know, some people might be like this. Some people might say that, well, I know God made animals to be eaten, something like that. Some people might be like that. There's like so many different opinions and perspectives on this. But really think about it. Is animal abuse wrong? Like, this opens like a window into the human psyche. Is animal abuse wrong? Is it wrong to abuse other animals? Even if there's like some type of personal benefit, like obviously we abuse, like we do, anyone that watches this video, if you're eating animal products, if you're consuming animal products, you do abuse animals. You contribute to the animal agriculture industry through your dietary choices, so you abuse animals indirectly, even if you think you're not, you're so morally righteous and blah blah blah. If you consume animal products, you are abusing animals through your dietary choices and stuff. So, and you might, and a lot of people might say, well, that's okay. We have to consume animal products to stay in tip-top condition. So, you know, it's okay to abuse animals if it's like for our personal benefit and gains. But I don't know. Or some people might say, well, what are you talking about? I don't abuse animals. I don't do anything bad to animals. But what are your dietary choices? Do you consume animal products? Man, so a lot of people are so ignorant and stupid. Look at your, like, if you consume animal products, you do abuse animals indirectly. You support the animal agriculture industry through your dietary choices. So you abuse animals indirectly, even if you don't think that you do. Even if you think you're morally righteous, if you consume animal products, you abuse animals. But what am I getting at? I'm kind of all over the place. Is animal abuse, is it wrong? Most people would say yes. Most people would say no. I don't know. It's so important to think about this, because it opens a window into the human psyche. But obviously, when we're discussing like morality and stuff, obviously in an objective way, if you're talking about like, if we were being very objective in an objective sense, animal abuse, is it wrong? I mean, it would appear not to be wrong, because there's no such thing as good and bad and right and wrong. It's just all imaginary. I don't know. But you know, people, they consume animal products. Most people consume animal products, but they don't agree with animal abuse. That's so bizarre to me. That it's kind of like there's some inconsistency there, right? That most people, they consume animal products. They eat like meat and chicken and drink milk and blah blah blah. And then if you bring up animal abuse, they just say, oh, that's horrible and that's wrong. But they indirectly support like animal agriculture, and they indirectly support animal abuse, animals getting abused and tortured and killed for their food choices, for their dietary choices and stuff. Because of their dietary choices, because of their food choices, I don't know. Animal abuse, is it wrong to abuse animals? No clear answer to this. It's all subjective. That's kind of the issue with morality and ethics and stuff like this. Good and bad, right and wrong. Who gets to draw this line? It's kind of us all in our heads, basically. You cannot scientifically prove that like any specific action is wrong. Like cutting like someone's throat open, is that wrong? No, you know. You cannot prove morality in any meaningful way. It's just all in our heads. So animal abuse, is that wrong? Because animal abuse is so important, because it does open a window into the human psyche. Is it wrong to abuse and torture and kill other animals? Because all of us do that. We all contribute to the animal agriculture industry, because most of us consume animal products, which is kind of very insane. We all indirectly contribute to animal suffering. We indirectly support animals getting tortured, raped, killed, and then they get turned into meat products and chicken nuggets and milkshakes and stuff. I don't know. And then we eat that, and then we just feel good. I don't know. And we kind of ignore like the fact that like our food comes from like mutilated corpses and the dead bodies of animals that were once alive, but they were like beaten and stuff and killed. And that's kind of depressing and sad. But you know, it's life. Most people are so ignorant and stupid about this. Animal abuse, is it wrong? Most people would say, yes, of course, animal abuse is wrong. But most people consume animal products. They eat meat and chicken and drink milk and stuff like this, and they turn a blind eye to the animal agriculture industry. Most people don't care that their food is like the result of like a variety of different animals getting kind of beaten up and caged and tortured and abused until they're finally killed off, and then they get cut into like meat parts, and then they get sold in supermarkets, and then some bodybuilder has like extra protein to eat. It's kind of insane. That's so insane. Most people would not agree with animal abuse, but most people indirectly support the animal agriculture industry through their dietary choices, because most people consume animal products. I don't know. I'm not a vegan, by the way. I'm not trying to like condescend you, this animal agriculture is wrong, you should not consume animal products. Because I consume animal products. This is just a very important topic to think about, animal abuse. Most people would not agree with animal abuse, but most people consume animal products, and they indirectly support like the suffering and death of other animals through their dietary choices. But a lot of people will say, well, we need animals to be in tip-top condition and stuff, so it's okay to abuse animals for your personal benefit and gains. Such an important topic, man. It shows it kind of, because it opens a window into the human psyche, into like where our Damn! My camera, my GoPro Hero 9 got too hot and it turned off again. But anyway, right, this topic, the topic of animal abuse, is so important because it opens a window into the human psyche and into where our morality comes from, right? What's also very important to understand and to know about is the fact that, other non-human animals, they're sentient creatures. They experience emotions and they have their own feelings and stuff. And they're alive. They're not just brain dead, right? A lot of people kind of see animals, like, they might not see animals as being very important because they're not really even sentient and they're sort of brain dead. This is not true, because a lot of, especially even farm animals, cows, pigs, chickens and stuff, they experience emotions and stuff. They have brains. Their nervous systems aren't like they're like intact. That they work. You know what I mean? They're not just brain dead. Because a lot of people would say that other animals aren't even that sentient and they're not even that important and stuff, and so it's okay to like use them as a food source and to abuse them. It is kind of a little bit insane, because I believe most non-human animals, they're sentient and they do experience emotions, and they have a consciousness, which probably is they probably have a consciousness, obviously, although like even we can't even prove that human beings have a consciousness. Like, the only reason that you might assume that other people have a consciousness is because you have a consciousness and you're just projecting it outwardly and stuff. You don't know that you don't know if that other people might not just be NPCs. They might not even be alive or conscious in that way or something like that. Maybe alive, I don't know about that, but they might not be conscious. You don't know that. You can never prove that someone else is conscious, right? Because if you're a doctor and you surgically analyze the brain, you go into the brain, you won't be able to find someone's consciousness there. Anyway, this is all a side tangent, but what's also very important to know about is the fact that other animals are sentient. They experience emotions and stuff. They experience pain and pleasure and blah blah blah, just like us human beings. So animal agriculture makes that's what makes animal agriculture even more kind of horrific and atrocious, because these animals, right, they are sentient. They have a consciousness. They experience a bunch of different emotions, and they have feelings, their own feelings and stuff, and they feel pleasure and pain and stuff. But these farm animals that we use as a food source, they just get tortured alive until they're too old, and then they get kind of they get tortured alive, literally. Like, sometimes, like, a lot of different animals in farmhouses, pigs and cows and chickens, farm animals specifically, they get beaten up and tortured and stuff. They don't get sometimes they don't even get any type of anesthetic, like painkillers or anything like that. They just get abused and stuff, and then until they get killed. That's so horrific, man. That's so horrific. You can literally, I advise you to go on to YouTube and just type in animal, like, farmhouses and stuff. You can see where all what happens to these different farm animals that are inside of these farmhouses. And what's very messed up about all of this is that these farm animals, they're conscious, sentient creatures. They experience pain and pleasure and stuff. They have feelings and emotions. These farm animals, man, they just get tossed around like nothing. You know what I mean? They get abused and beaten up. It's sort of funny in a very dark, sad way. I don't know. And then they get turned into some chicken nuggets and milkshakes that some fat shit drinks. I don't know. Animal abuse is even more atrocious, because animals, they're not just brain dead. They have a consciousness and nervous system. They experience emotions and feelings and stuff, pain and pleasure. It's kind of, but most people don't care about that. They would not consider animals to be important because they're not as sentient as us. They're kind of brain dead, so it's okay to abuse them. Imagine if we said that about the same thing about like human children, because an infant is like an animal, right? Is have like the same intelligence as like as an adult human being. So is it okay to abuse infants and to keep them as a food source? That's so interesting, man. Because this is the topic of animal abuse is so interesting and important because it opens a window into the human psyche, and it kind of helps us understand where our morality comes from. But animal abuse, is it wrong or right, or is it good or bad or whatever? Obviously, like good and bad morality is all just in our heads. These things like good and bad, it's not out there in the real world. Like we can't scientifically measure what's good and what's bad and stuff. It's all in our heads. So I'm not even a vegan. I'm not gonna complain about you consuming animal products. If you want to be some type of psychopath and say, oh no, I don't care about animal suffering. I just like eating chicken nuggets and drinking milkshakes. I don't care if cows and chickens get raped and abused. Because of this, I want more chicken nuggets and I want to drink more milkshakes. I'm not gonna complain about that because good and bad, these types of things, these are concepts of morality. It's all in our heads. It's not out there in the real world. What's like again? Animals. Like a lot of people say, well, the animals aren't that important. They're not that sentient, so it's okay to abuse them. A lot of people might be like this, but human infants, like they're not as intelligent as adult human beings. Is it okay to like abuse them? But a lot of people say, well, they're human, so it's different. Okay, so but that's kind of, it's all made up, like the lines. And all of that stuff, like for morality, it's all blurred and made up anyway. So I don't know who gets to draw the line for good and bad in this way. In this case, it's kind of ultimately it's just up to us. It's all in our heads. But animal abuse is such an important topic to think about. It's so important, sure, because it opens a window into the human psyche, into where our morality comes from and stuff. Most people would not agree with animal abuse again, but most people consume animal products, and that's kind of like an inconsistency there. How can you not agree with animal abuse, but you eat animal products? And you indirectly support animal abuse and animal suffering through the animal agriculture industry, because your chicken nuggets and milkshakes, that has to come from somewhere. It doesn't just come, chicken nuggets, like all the meat and dairy and eggs that we consume, it doesn't just grow on trees. It comes from the corpses of dead, mutilated, tortured animals and stuff. And that's so, it's really funny, but it's also very dark in so many different ways. Now, so many people, they don't really think too much about this. They eat their chicken nuggets and drink their milkshakes and blah blah blah. They don't realize that the food that they eat, it comes from like the mutilated corpses of dead animals. So insane. Animal abuse. Most people would not agree with animal abuse, but most people consume animal products, and they indirectly support animal abuse and animal suffering through the animal agriculture industry. They eat their chicken nuggets and they drink their milkshakes. They don't realize that this comes from like the dead, mutilated corpses of dead animals and stuff like that, and that's very horrific. I don't know. I'm not a vegan. I consume animal products. I'm not gonna get on a high horse and yell at you about this. But it's so important to think about this, man. It's so important to think about this. Animal abuse opens a window into the human psyche, shows us where our morality comes from and stuff like that. So sad, though. So sad that most people, they eat their chicken nuggets, they drink their milkshakes, they eat their steaks, their burgers, they go to McDonald's and eat other garbage food like that, and I don't know. But they don't realize, they don't make the connection in their heads that the food that they're eating comes from like the tortured, mutilated corpses of dead animals. That's so, it's so funny and in a very dark way. It's so funny in a dark way that so many people are this ignorant. You go up to someone on the street, do you agree with animal abuse? They'll say, no, I do not agree with animal abuse. But they consume animal products and they drink milk and eat their chicken nuggets and burgers and stuff, which comes from like the dead. It comes from like the corpses of dead, mutilated animals. That's kind of very insane. I don't know. And remember, animals, they're not just brain dead. They are sentient creatures. They do have pain. They do experience pain and pleasure and stuff. They have feelings and emotions. But we don't care. Like a lot of us don't care about that because we don't see them as being that important, which is kind of insane. And a lot of people drink milkshakes and eat their chicken nuggets and burgers and stuff. They don't know that the food that they eat, it comes from the dead bodies of mutilated, like the dead corpses. Like it comes from the corpses of dead, mutilated animals and stuff. It's so insane. Animal abuse is such an important topic. Again, it opens a window into the human psyche. It shows us where our morality comes from and etc. And I can go on and on about this. But animal abuse, is it wrong? Obviously. Again, morality, it's just all in our heads. There's you can't scientifically measure good and bad, right? It's not real in a physical way. Like all of these concepts of morality and stuff, this is all in our heads. I'm not gonna bash on you too much if you eat animal products. I'm not gonna hate on you or anything like that or insult you because I do it as well. Obviously, I'm just trying to. Like the animal abuse is such an important topic because it opens a window into the human psyche and shows us where our morality comes from. You know, but what's also very important is that other animals cannot resist us. They're at our mercy. We human beings, we're at the top of the food chain, and so it's so interesting to see like how we treat other animals and stuff, and see what we are like and stuff, and how we treat other animals and stuff like that. It's such an interesting like, I don't know, study and stuff. I don't know. You can see it as like being a very interesting. It's just an interesting thing to see, right? That we're at the top of the food chain. No animals can resist us, and so okay, what do we do with these other animals? They can't resist us. They're completely helpless, right? So it's just, I don't know. It's so interesting to think about this. I don't know. Animal abuse, again. I'm not morality. You cannot scientifically measure good and bad. It's all in our heads. Morality and these different concepts of morality and ethics and stuff is all in our heads. You know, animal abuse is so important to think about this. Most people would not agree with animal abuse, but most people consume animal products. They drink their milkshakes and eat their chicken nuggets and burgers and stuff like that. They don't realize that these foods that they eat, it comes from like the dead, like the dead, mutilated bodies and corpses of animals that once used to be alive, but they were kind of beaten up and caged and then obviously killed. You should think about everything I've said in this video.